Boy, the temptation here is really to blame the victim. A black person is kicked out of his family home because they think he's too crazy. A white guy and a white girl meet him and they go, well, the only natural thing for us to do is to invite this crazy black person to live in our house. That turned out to be a ridiculously dangerous, fatal decision.
Break, this 19-year-old woman with her whole life ahead of her, murdered in cold blood. Tonight, her family speaking out. It is our top story at 10.
Police found her body at the University Green Apartments after arresting a man in the street wearing bloody clothes.
7 Action News reporter Brian Abel sat down with the family, and Brian, they are understandably devastated.
Yeah, you can't even imagine the pain that they're going through. They say that Jamie had a heart of gold and her murder was simply senseless. Now, the family of Jamie, she understandably shaken and grieving tonight after the loss of the 19-year-old on Friday. Barsegian's fiance says they had taken in their neighbor, 18-year-old Taiwan Sim Scott, for a couple of weeks after he was kicked out of his apartment. He was found making threats with knives and bloody clothes in Ypsilanti Friday, leading police to Barsegian. Jamie's family says she was a shining light, senselessly gone far too soon.
She was the most kind person you'd ever meet. She taught me what love was when she was 2 months old. I loved her more than anything. She meant the world to me.
Jamie would have done anything for anybody. She was kind. She had a huge heart. She was trying to help people all the time. And she didn't deserve this to happen to her.
The way that she was is instilled in other people, you know, and that we all learn from the mistake that was made, letting him stay there. That won't happen again, you know.
This kid don't know how much he took from me, from her whole family. Like, I don't know. Like, all my plans revolved around her. Like, my future revolved around her. And now it's just like,
Okay, so we know that that young couple should not have invited that guy to stay in their house. It cost her her life. Somebody somewhere could have stopped that idiocy. The boyfriend could have stopped it. The mom could have stopped it. The dad could have stopped it. The aunts and uncles could have stopped it. Somebody could have walked in there and said, real talk, you don't know that person. His own family thinks he's crazy, and you think you can save him. You are putting yourself and other people in danger. That, by the way, is the definition of insanity. Okay, we understand that. But let's not let ourselves off the hook on this either. I was reading the comments this morning. All of a sudden, I'm starting to see F-bombs in there, N-bombs in there. I remind you, we're doing zero tolerance. You drop an F-bomb or an N-bomb on my channel, you are gone. And don't come crawling back a month later going, well, Colin, why'd you kick me off? I never did anything wrong. The way we talk about this has a direct result on how persuasive we can be, how many people will come to understand what we're talking about. And so when we see a young woman out in Michigan near Detroit, Ypsilanti, killed because somebody who's watched these videos hasn't somehow made contact with her. We have a lot of people watching these videos. We've had over 120 million people watch these videos in the last 4 years. Or 120 views. That's a lot of views. You mean to tell me somebody in that orbit didn't watch our videos? Somebody connected to her through 1 degree or 2 degrees of separation? I know somebody who watches these videos is somehow in that family's orbit. And because they failed to tell that girl the danger she was in, well, doesn't that mean, a lot of us have failed too? Yes, it does, including me, including you. So let's think about that in the future. Let's think about how we are conducting ourselves when we talk about this. Are we dropping N-bombs, F-bombs, cussing, acting like an animal? Are we turning into the peak kind of thing that we condemn? be discussing this in a way that where people are going to listen to us with a little bit of dispassion, but you can make up for the passion with conviction, and you do it. You talk about this to your friends the way you would talk at your dinner table over Thanksgiving. And if you're one of those people has a family that's dropping F-bombs and N-bombs during Thanksgiving dinner, well, I guess there's nothing I can say to you other than just don't make the black kids angry.